The introduction of the 0.5% cybersecurity levy on all banking transactions across the country has gathered, a lot of diverse opinions. But I'll say, from my view, there has been mostly negative reactions coming from unions as well as the organized private sector. And most Nigerians on the street would also re-echo what I have just said now. There has been diverse opinions coming from Nigerians as regards to that levy. But joining me now to discuss the intent of that levy, the timing also of that levy, as well as the expectations of that levy, I'm joined now by Dr. Abubakar Alkali, who is a public affairs analyst. Thank you, Doctor, for joining us on Business Daily.
Thank you so much, Chiamaka. Good morning.
Good morning to you too, Doctor. Just before we go into the conversation proper, one question that has been asked by the ordinary Nigerian over and over again is, was there, some other measures that could have been put out there to prevent or to protect Nigerians against cybersecurity, or in the area of cybersecurity? Did it have to be, this particular issuance by the CBN? What are our options as Nigerians to prevent and protect ourselves in the cyberspace?
Well, thank you again, Chiamaka. I think there are quite a few other options that would have been in place without having to go through this hog of taxation. I think it should be ordinarily a natural thing. It should be something that the government, should have prepared for. Of course, apart from the electronic transfer transactions, of course, our daily, internet activities, daily, activities on the net are also vulnerable. So the government obviously has put in measures, measures to guard against hacking, hacking of our electronic activity apart from the transfer itself. Of course, government has confidential data, confidential information, and all this have been, safeguarded from cybercrime, and transfer should really be except the transfer, electronic transfer aspect should be exempted, and now taxed, a tax put on Nigerians for that. If the government did not tax, some of the private and even public, corporations for safeguarding their electronic activities online, why should the government tax ordinary Nigerians for this electronic transfers? You see, basically what I'm trying to say is that this should be actually, a normal responsibility of the government. It is a normal responsibility of the government. If you look at Section 14, subsection 2B of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as I mentioned, it says the primary function of government is, portion of security, life, and property. These electronic activities are part of our property. So the Constitution has already guaranteed that without having to pay tax. The Constitution didn't say government should guard, security of property upon payment of taxes. That's not what the Constitution says. Obviously, it should have been, the government should have said, okay, for you to be secured, for you to enjoy security, for you to be, attended to by our security operatives, our security agents, police, and all that, you should pay tax. is the same thing, obviously, because the Constitution said life and property, Section 14, Section 2B, life and property. So there is no justification whatsoever of instituting a 0.5% cyber security levy on Nigerians. I think it is insensitive at this time when inflation is very high, when ordinary Nigerian is actually struggling. What Nigerians actually expect now is the government to say, look, we have cut down this tax, we have cut down on that tax, And also, you see, tax is a very unique thing. Why unique is that, you see, whoever is paying tax wants to see what that tax is. We don't have such structures in it. You pay tax and you see what it has been used for. Actually, for me, for now, government should, withdraw all taxes on Nigerians. This should be part of the palliative measure.
Well said there, Doctor. I have been speaking with Dr. Abubakar Alkali, and he will be back after the break, as there is so much more to come. So do stay. And you're still watching Business Daily, coming to you live on Trust TV. And just before the break, we were speaking to issues around the recently introduced cybersecurity levy, I beg your pardon, of 0.5% charges for every electronic transfer or transaction. And I still have my guest, who is Dr. Abubakar Alkali, who is a public affairs analyst. Thank you, Doctor, for staying on the program. But let's move on away from that now. Just before the break, you were speaking to the timing, which has been a major source of concern for most Nigerians, because many have come out to say, we understand that the intent just might be good, but is the timing really appropriate? And we ask this, considering the economic challenges that most Nigerians are facing, speaking of hardship, rising inflation, and rise in the standard of living at this point or cost of living, I beg your pardon, for most Nigerians. So let's hear from you, Doctor. What are your thoughts on the timing of this levy?
I think the timing is very wrong. It is very obvious. It's very obvious. As a matter of fact, you can't really take away the fact that, you see, at this time when, there was this policy, this twin policy of removal of fuel subsidy and, flotation of naira, when fuel subsidy has been removed and the price of petrol has jacked up to, about 500, 600%. And you have, prices of goods and services skyrocketing, almost on daily basis. Some to about 700, 800%. Okay? And government is actually trying to, go around the issue of minimum wage, okay, which is very, very low. Families are obviously struggling. The average Nigerian has never had this kind of economic, downturn, this kind of unpleasant experience. The families have never been squeezed this much in Nigeria, as far as records show. So the timing is very wrong, as I said. Government is instituting palliatives. They say, look, we know life is very hard. So these are palliatives. Government has given money to state governors, government has given money to agencies to use to cushioning the effect of the current very high cost of living. And at this time, government is, taking back some of these palliatives in another form. Taking back to the police and taking them in for taxes. Look, we have 20 taxes. If you ask me, if anybody must pay any tax on transfers, electronic transfers, then it has to be banks. The banks should pay. The banks are making too much profit. We all know. Banks should pay it because you see, this is not bind customer. Yes, it doesn't bind on the customer because the customer has given his name to the bank, okay, in trust. Okay, he has already transferred that money, that trust to the bank. So if there is anybody who should safeguard that trust, it should be the banks. Okay, banks already charging COT. They are already charging VAT. You know, the government is in VAT. Government is charging stamp duty. Government is the operators are charging SSM, SMS. If you send if you are transferring, they charge you. Okay, so Nigerians are subjected to 2 taxes on this trust, on this cash transfers. And another thing I would want to say is that, you see, to be honest, sometimes you don't understand the motive of government. Sometimes, you see, it's very difficult to understand because they do one thing and do another thing. They bring out a policy and they bring out another policy to more or less frustrate it. Government said we are promoting a cashless policy, okay, a cashless policy. Everything should be electronic. You don't have to carry money. Now, at the same time, government is now discouraging people from, taking up this cashless policy.
Doctor,
because people now are saying, if I have to pay 1,000 naira or 5,000 naira for a million naira transfer, if I have to pay 1,000 naira for 200,000 transfer, I have to pay 100 naira.
Doctor, I'll cut you short there. And taking still on your point on, the government introducing the cashless policy and, introducing digital finance and all of those that have been brought into place so far. The question now is, on one hand, we have seen Nigerians, even the ones in remote areas, starting to embrace, digital transactions and all of those. And on this other hand, we are seeing Nigerians being taxed, for digital transactions. So the question now is, will this affect, the consumer behavior regarding electronic transactions moving forward? What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, absolutely. It will affect consumer behavior. You see, the point now is, government said there are exemptions. There are 16 exemptions, 16 transactional exemptions. I'll just give 1 or 2 or 3 of them, time factor. You see, if you're transferring with accounts, okay, intra-bank, this charge does not apply. If you are transferring into another bank, okay, if it is on account, it doesn't apply. Okay, if even me and you as foreign, if we are customers of the same bank, it doesn't apply. Obviously, also education payments, charity payments, this levy doesn't apply. But you see, the point is, most of these transfers electronic are actually between, actually intra-bank. Okay, you find out that I'm sending some money, I'm transferring some money. In most cases, would be between me and a third party, another bank. Okay, most of it. So consumer behavior will be affected because now people will go for cash, and you see, it is very, very insecure to hold cash, especially at this time of very high insecurity in Nigeria. So at the end of the day, you see, it will bounce back to the to businesses, most especially small businesses, because it is this small business. Government is saying we are promoting macro, small and medium enterprises. We are giving them loans, we are giving them concessions, we want them to grow. Okay, at the same time, government is levying them on transfers.
Okay,
this small businesses are the ones most affected.
Well said,
so government has to take up this levy, has to suspend it. Nigerians are not happy with it. Nigerians cannot absorb it in this very, very excruciating economic downturn. Okay, Nigerians cannot absorb it in the face of the very high, cost of living, occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy, which government has done without due diligence, okay, which government has done without proper, appraisal of its impact on families. Families just woke up one day. People woke up one day and petrol has gone to 600. Now petrol is a liter of PMS. It's going for 1,200, 1,300. And then there is levies all over the place. So you see, already government has voted enough. This money is going to National Security Advisor. They said, you see, the government knows if this issue is debated on the floor of the National Assembly, it will not pass. So what they did was to use executive bill through the Office of the National Security Advisor and then the CBN. See, it's even doubtful if CBN has the powers, okay, to issue these orders. This has to go back to the National Assembly. It has to go back to the National Assembly. Of course, executive order is allowed, but in this context of urgent national importance and these issues of all national importance, this issue should be debated at the National Assembly. Yes, it should be debated. And you see, I hope that this money is not being used for, other purposes. You see, what I'm trying to hear is that the Office of the National Security Advisor is the one handling this. I don't know when that office turned into revenue generating office, to be honest. Now, we have always, voiced against, any form of negotiations with terrorists. And we have had last time that the Office of National Security Advisor was involved in some kind of negotiation in freeing the Federal University of Gusau Federal University Gusau, Zamfara State, kidnapped students. You see, so we hope that this money is not going to touch ventures where the Office of National Security Advisor or the government itself is now involved in wholesome direct negotiation with bandits, okay, with terrorists, which will obviously boost terrorism, which will boost kidnapping, which will boost banditry. Okay,
well, those are the views of our guest, who is Dr. Abubakar Alkali, and he has been speaking to the introduction of the cybersecurity levy. And I'd just like to point out that those are the views of our guest, who is Dr. Abubakar Alkali. Thank you again for your insight on the program.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Well, this is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of Business Daily, coming to you live on Trust TV. Join the conversation on social media and let us hear your thoughts on the intent, the timing, and the expectation of the cyber security levy by the federal government. My name is Chiamaka Enendu. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.